Hello there, welcome to my views and news. Three news stories. First one is from the disputed territory between Tigray and the Amhara regions, Raya Alamata. The zone is under the control of Ethiopian National Defense Force. There is deployment of, there is Amhara temporary administration installed in this zone. Amhara Special Force disbanded in entire Amhara region. Local level militias operating too, but now it seems that the Fano fighters, East Amhara Fano fighters are entering Raya Alamata. How many East Amhara Fano fighters have entered Raya Alamata? Where are they based? What is the ENDF doing, and why is that Fano fighters are moving towards Raya zone? Secondly, viewers, a video clip for you published by Fano-backed news outlets. Some ENDF soldiers have been shown by Fano-backed news outlets. ENDF soldiers are POWs. Fano fighters kidnapped them or took them prisoner. And these ENDF soldiers obviously are praising Fano. They are all praised for Fano fighters. Thirdly, Kobo, North Wollo. Yesterday, there was heavy fighting near Vuldia. Pamphlets were distributed. Vuldia Fano, East Amhara Fano sent a message to three communities in Vuldia. Then last night, heavy fighting erupted in the vicinity of Kobo, where Mere Budajo's Fano faction is based reportedly. Firstly, viewers, Alamata, Raya Alamata, Koram, Southern Zone. Zone was part of Tigray before the start of war. Amhara region base groups say that this area was historically part of Amhara. It was annexed by Tigray. And the zone is disputed. When the war broke out, we saw that Amhara forces, Ethiopian National Defense Force, they took control of Raya, Alamata, Koram. Then in July 2021, Tigray forces took back Raya, Koram. General Dinkel was one of the generals from Tigray who led the offensive on Alamata, Koram. Back then, I remember, ENDF withdrew from Raya Alamata, Koram without putting up a fight mostly. So Tigray remained in control of Alamata from Koram Alamata, Raya, from July 2021 till August 2022. In August, we saw start of third round of fighting between Tigray forces and Ethiopian National Defense Force. Eritrean military was involved. In this third round of fighting, Amhara forces, East Amhara Fano, ENDF, they took back Raya Koram. Since then, there has been a temporary Amhara region backed administration put in place in this zone. Future status is being discussed. No one knows what will happen. Both regions have very strong claim to this zone. Just last night I reported that a meeting was held about the future status of Raya and Volkai, Raya, Koram and Volkai, Tumara Sagade. And the representatives of the Amhara people from Raya, Koram, they agreed to the idea of holding a referendum reportedly. But representatives of Volkai refused to accept the proposal of referendum. And we know that in Raya, Koram, from Raya, Koram, Tigrayans were expelled too, who want to return to their homes. So referendum can only be held after all IDPs return to their homes. Tigray is opposing the proposal of referendum. Tigray says its territories must be given back to the Tigray region. It wants its territories back without any referendum. Now, Fano, East Amhara Fano, which fought to take back Raya Koram last year, has decided to send its fighters to Raya Koram. With approval of Ethiopian National Defense Force or without approval, it's not clear. But if ENDF is unable to stop the flow of Fano fighters into Alamata, it means either ENDF is complicit or it is not capable enough. Reportedly, more than 200 East Amhara Fano fighters have entered Raya Alamata. Obviously, they entered from Kobo side, and now they're armed. They are on the move. They have been seen on the move from Raya Alamata towards Vajatimoga on border. Several locals have confirmed their presence. Where is Ethiopian National Defense Force? Is ENDF allowing Fano fighters, East Amhara Fano fighters to enter Raya Alamata? Believe me, if thousands of Fano fighters manage to enter Raya, Koram and Volkayt, it means that Tigray won't be able to take back these territories peacefully. There'll be war. Because these Fano fighters say Raya Alamata non-negotiable, Volkayt non-negotiable. So while Amhara regional government is under serious pressure because of the attacks by Fano fighters, the lawlessness in the Amhara region is now spilling into Raya Alamata, Koram, and maybe into Volkayt. If you remember, I hinted at this 3 days ago. I said this unrest in the Amhara region could spill into the disputed territories. Unrest is not being seen in the two zones, but if Fano fighters manage to penetrate Raya Alamata, Volkayt, it means that gradually they'll start carrying out their activities. It would be difficult for Ethiopian federal government, Amhara regional government to make a decision about Raya Alamata, Koram, Volkayt, without approval, without consultations with Fano fighters, it seems. ENDF is fighting on so many fronts now. Is ENDF capable enough to lead the country, to lead country's defense, to ensure there is internal peace? ENDF fighting in Amhara, it is protecting Gurd, it is fighting Ola, it is based in Somali region, it is stationed on Somalia's territory fighting Al-Shabaab. And in Tigray too, it has large-scale deployments. So it's a test of Ethiopian National Defense Force. I wouldn't say ENDF is complicit, but other militias are also being raised, trained and armed. If you remember, a week ago I shared some pictures from Alamata, Raya Alamata with you. The pictures showed new recruits of a militia which were being trained in Raya Alamata. So it means that everything is happening under the nose of Ethiopian National Defense Force. Is ENDF trying to complicate the matter so that Tigray, so it would be difficult for Tigray to take back the territories through dialogue, and then maybe there could be talks about some independent status of these two zones, that ENDF should be deployed here, all other forces should withdraw. Maybe ENDF wants to complicate the matter so that Tigray also and Amhara agree to a makeshift arrangement that for the time being both Raya Alamata, Koram, Volkayat they should come under just ENDF control. Let's see. So far, hundreds of Fano fighters have entered Raya Alamata. Secondly, viewers, Fano fighters are now showing prisoners, POWs. They showed a few militia members a few days ago, and now ENDF soldiers. At least 3 ENDF soldiers have been shown by Fano fighters. Their interviews are being aired on pro-Fano news outlets. These ENDF soldiers are all praise for Fano fighters. They seem to be in good condition, health-wise, and they are praising Fano. They say Fano, and they seem to be agreeing with Fano's narrative about the war. Statements of POWs are never reliable because they are under duress, they are under pressure. So their statements are extracted by those who are in charge of them. That is why I never take statements of POWs very seriously. In the 2-year-long war, we saw that both sides showed statements of lots of POWs on both sides, but those statements were unreliable. But important thing is that Fano is showing that it has captured ENDF members, militia members too. Some people say, Sajid, we have not seen a single video showing large-scale fighting in the Amhara region. So whatever is being reported is a lie. There is no big unrest in the region. I don't agree. I watch videos too. Graphic videos I cannot share with anyone, especially on this channel. Yes, fighting is ongoing. Neutral sources reporting, locals reporting too. What is happening in the region should not be underestimated. If you start underestimating the strength of Fano, if you start playing down the gravity of the situation in the Amhara region, this confrontation, this conflict could turn into a bigger conflict. Fighting could turn into war. That is why if people are exaggerating, it should be taken seriously, I think. Maybe that will make the people in power to realize that they should intervene to resolve the conflict in Amhara. Otherwise, it would be a national threat. I am saying today that if situation in the Amhara region is not controlled, you will see big changes in Ethiopia. National level changes, you will see that. Because Fano fighters are now backing of people. Amhara diaspora members have been active since last year, if you remember. They've been trying to launch a movement on the ground in Ethiopia. Last year, I remember when Ethiopian federal government and Amhara Special Force decided to disband Fano factions, there were protests in US, in Europe. Amhara diaspora organized itself. It started opposing Ethiopian federal government. It tried to start a movement on the ground. It could not. It was difficult to mobilize people last year in Amhara. But this year, Ethiopian government shot in its foot by disbanding Amhara Special Force. And then rumors spread that government was preparing to hand over Raya Alamata to TPLF. Pretoria deal signed, Amhara hardliners opposed. So and then killings in Valaga, several other issues too. All this led to the start of anti-government sentiment in the Amhara region, which was cashed by Fano fighters. Diaspora was already waiting for this opportunity. So diaspora, people on the ground, Fano fighters, all are united now. And if church elders, some church elders started supporting this insurgency, we could see further escalation. That is why I say what is happening in the Amhara region should not be underestimated. Watch a video shared by Fano backed news sources showing ENDF soldiers speaking about Fano fighters. ENDF soldiers have been taken prisoner by Fano fighters. Reportedly in Lasta, Lalibela, Assamino Brigade and brigades of Colonel Fantahun Mohabao, Colonel Mogas Zigai are operating. These Fano factions are emerging as the most influential Fano factions in this war. They are confronting Ethiopian National Defense Force, taking territories, taking ENDF soldiers prisoner. Watch a clip of ENDF soldiers taken prisoner by Fano fighters.
ከየት ተነስታችሁ መጣችሁ? አሁን ውጊያው እያያችሁ ነው። በጣም እየተጣጣፈ ነው። ግን ማን ያሸንፋል ይመስላችኋል? እናንተ ናችሁ ታሸንፋችሁ። እዛ አይደላችሁ።
ከባድ መሳሪያ ምን አላችሁ? ሞርተር አለ? በሸለቃ ያለው ሞርተር አለ። እሺ ዙ አለ? ኮራል ምናምን ሲመጣ ነው የምታጁ አለ። አሁን እዚህ ዙ ከብስ ላይ አላያቸውም። ትናንት ነበር ዙ። አሁን ማን ነው የማረካችሁ? አንዴ ዝም በሉ በላቸው። ዝም በሉ።
Thirdly, viewers, Kobo last night, heavy exchange of gunfire resumed near Kobo between East Amhara Fano fighters and Ethiopian National Defense Force. There was a similar exchange of gunfire 3 to 4 days ago near Kobo city, and the Fano fighters back then entered Kobo city too. Then ENDF conducted house-to-house searches, and but Fano fighters could not be arrested. And back then, if you remember, near Gobiye, a vehicle of Ethiopian military was ambushed by Fano fighters. 2 vehicles were ambushed by Fano fighters. Pictures were showing the vehicles which had caught fire. Here, East Amhara Fano is based both to the east and west of Kobo. Zobel, Gobiye on Amhara far border, and towards Gondar side too. In both directions, the Fano factions have their hideouts here. This faction near Kobo is led by Merevadajo, who is from Kobo. I think his family lives in Kobo. Heavy fighting erupted near Kobo last night. Even this morning, people confirm from the area that still they were hearing sounds of gunshots in the vicinity of Kobo. So there was fighting near Voldia yesterday, then last night fighting near Kobo. Volo, both are in North Volo. North Volo has Muslim population too, it has Oromo population too, but even in North Volo, which is not a stronghold of Amhara population, even here we are seeing that local governments, city governments are becoming dysfunctional. 2 assassinations in Voldia in the last 3 to 4 days. Several attacks on police officers, their residences, their offices in Kobo, in Voldia. Then a lot more in North Shore zone of the Amhara region. Thank you for watching.